What up, everybody? I'm your host, Mr. Fresh to the Soul, and this is Kicks Convo. Let's go.
We the culture, we nothing like them vultures. If you didn't, now you know it. Our combos be the latest and our shoes is just the dopest. We keep a high topic when we known to be the coast. Cause we stepping with black excellence, progression in our motion.
On today's episode, our special guest is Matt. He's a father, entrepreneur, and sneaker enthusiast. We're going to talk about legendary releases, humble beginnings, and of course, kicks and his fire combo.
We the culture, we nothing like them vultures. If you didn't, now you know it. Our combos be the latest and our shoes is just the dopest. We keep a high topic when we known to be the coast. Cause we stepping with black excellence, progression in our motion.
Let's get right into this conversation. Matt, my guy, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
It's always a pleasure.
For sure.
Man, I've been waiting for you to hop on this episode, man. So I got a bunch of questions to ask you, but my first question is, where did your passion first begin?
Passion for sneakers began because we talk about sneakers, and I clearly am here because I'm a sneaker enthusiast, right? Okay. So I think it started when I was younger, obviously growing up. I think it's a part of the culture as young African Americans, men and women, but a lot more like the young men. It's a connection between music, the clothes, the shoes, the TV, everything. So it began when I was younger and just watching episodes of like Fresh Prince, seeing all like the fresh shoes that he had on, and Martin, where they had all the Jordans and stuff on, and the athletes that had signature shoes. So like Dion, Charles Barkley, like that's where my passion first began. I just saw those things and I was like, I want those. And in that time, I wasn't able to get those type of things. My mom couldn't afford those kind of sneakers, but I always had like a desire to have them. And my oldest sister, her being the oldest, she was the first one to kind of get a job and start making her own money. And she started buying sneakers. And I was like, oh my goodness, I want the sneakers, she had. She would buy Jordans and some of the latest shoes. And then she began to, as she made money, she would sometimes buy me sneakers too. So that's kind of where the passion first started. It's just, I would say, like the culture, the TV shows. And then my oldest sister influenced kind of my love for sneakers once I was able to actually get some that I actually, wanted.
Do you remember like the first shoe your mother got you going to school?
The
one you actually liked though.
The first one, I'm gonna tell you, is crazy. The first shoe I actually really, really liked, I was in like 5th grade, and it was the Nike. Remember Nike did the Terra series? Okay. It was the Nike Terra like Kimbia. I know it's like somebody probably like, what is that? So if you go look it up, you'll see it's like a cross-training shoe. It's a low top. The pair that I got was black, red, and yellow. Again, like my oldest sister had a pair that was like lime green, purple, and gray. So we ended up getting like the same shoe. That was the first time I got a pair of sneakers. Like, I really want this pair, and she purchased them for me. You won't find them probably anywhere today, but that was like the first one where I got was like, I really want these shoes. That was the first pair.
Yeah, I think the very first shoe that I actually loved was, I had no choice. Like, back in the day, like my mom was kind of similar like yours. Like, I didn't have opportunity to buy a bunch of shoes, or I couldn't pick the Air Force Ones. It was either like you getting one or the other. So like I had the opportunity to buy a pair of Grant Hills. Gotcha. So Grant Hills was like the only shoe that was kind of fire, and that was it. It was like one shoe and you're done. You had to wear that all year, the whole season.
So that was the thing too. Like, once you got that one pair, that was it for 6 months at least, right? Before that, I mean, sorry, we can't afford to get multiple pairs of shoes. And it was, I will tell you one story. We used to wear New Balance. Now it's the 990s and up. We used to wear the 574s. Oh, yeah. 574s was like the staple New Balance that we wore. New Balance had dropped a royal blue pair of 574s. I was still wearing kid size at the time. And that pair was only $50. My mother was like, okay, you can get them. So we go to the store. I go to the kids side, try them on. My foot grew. Now I'm in the men's sizes. So now she's like, okay, well, let's go over to the men's. The men's is $84. So now it's like, yeah, sorry. You're not going to be able to get it. So it kind of like crushed me a little bit because I was like, I get to get a pair of shoes that I really, really want. And then my foot grew, and I can't fit the kid size. So now I can't get the shoe that I thought I was going to be able to get. So that hurt a little bit. I don't know if you get that.
I remember a time that was kind of like the 2 for $100 kind of deals with the Air Force Ones and the show heads. And
sure.
back then, I didn't really have a thing for New Balance. I'm like the 574s.
Yeah.
I kind of got used to wearing the 990s because it was kind of like the style of the era. And now, like, it's getting more popular and popular, among sneakerheads.
Right.
So question to ask you, like, what was a shoe that when you soon get your own money, when you had the opportunity to buy it, which one did you decide to go with?
The first pair I bought, we had back then it was Youth Works. I think Youth Works still exists, but in Baltimore, I grew up in Baltimore City. So in the summertime, if you was of age, they would if you signed up, you get a summer job somewhere in the city. Had my first summer job, got my first check, and then my back to school shopping. The first pair of shoes I bought on my own, they were the Nike Air Force Max, which was kind of like the Barclays. It was a white pair with black, the strap that said Force on the front, and inside the bubble had purple because it was kind of like something that he wore when he played for the Phoenix Suns. So that was my first pair. I think it was probably like close to like $100. That was the first pair I bought like for myself from my own money. And I was able to get like clothes and stuff to go with it, but it just felt so good to go in Foot Locker and say, hey, give me a 10 and a half. Here's my money for them. And I think they was like on sale. So I was like super hyped. So I think that was a shoe that I knew I wanted for back to school, but as far as how much it was going to be and if I had enough money to get it, I wasn't really sure. But I went into Foot Locker and it was on sale and I got them shoes and it was a great feeling. I'll tell you another story. I was in Atlanta when the Grapes dropped, right? So Grapes dropped. We on campus. There's a bunch of us that want them. Now, I'm in Atlanta. So it's people I went to Morehouse. So people from all over. You got New York, DC, Texas. Everybody's like, yo, we got to get the Grapes. We on campus, though. Where did we get them from? They opened up like a Athlete's Foot, which I don't think even exists no more anywhere, somewhere close to campus, and they just doing a midnight release. So a bunch of us was like, yo, we going to go down there and cop them, right? So we all went down there, got down there early, was early in line. I mean, line was all the way down. They had police out there to make sure everything was cool. Got the Grape 5s. I didn't look at them because I was just like, cool. Got them, took them back to the dorm, opened them up, and it was a defect on them. Like right here, it was like this like extra piece of plastic.
Did you wear them?
No, nope. I ain't wear them. I ain't wear them, and I wanted to take it off, but then it would have showed like a rip. I ended up taking them back, and like the next day, I took them back the next morning just to like get it over with. So the next day, we was all talking about them, and like I didn't bring it up right away. I just kind of was like, I can't believe it. And I finally told him, he was like, why you ain't? I was so excited about being able to purchase them. I forgot I wasn't really into checking shoes yet. I just didn't know how it worked. And the employees was like trying to rush because there was so many people. They was like, moving it along. But yeah, that kind of hurt. But that wasn't my first pair of J's. My first pair of Jordans I was in college. My first pair was it was white and red, the Cherry 10s, white and red Jordan 10s. Wow. I had got some extra money and I wanted to get some shoes, and we had walked down to the mall and we walked into Foot Action, and this is, mind you, Jordans were popular, but not like the hype now where they sell out and you can't get them. I walked in there, they had the white and red 10s on the wall. I was like, I want these. And that was my first pair of Jordans. And I bought them like close to the end of the school year. So I never wore them while I was down there. I ended up like bringing them home and like rocking them like back then. And back then, I don't know if you feel like this way, but Baltimore wasn't big on Jordans like that. Because when I wore them, like people was like, yo, what's going on? And I remember that summer, I think Jordan 4s was dropping. Remember the Mars Blackman Jordan 4s? Yeah. I went to Foot Locker because I grew up
with the face on the back.
The face on the back. Okay. I grew up in the Northwood area, so I went to Northwood Foot Locker. The morning of, I'm getting there early, thinking I got to stand in line, and I'm the only one out there. Me and like my cousin, and I'm like anxious about being able to get them, but like walked in there, bought them. Nobody else was copping them, but that's before the hype. Yeah. And I just remember that sticking in my mind, like people in Baltimore really don't wear Jordans like that. I mean, it's different now, but like in 06, it wasn't like big. It was all about dopes, and I like those shoes too, but they were bigger on like foam posits is the official name, but we called them dopes. That was like what people was really into.
Yeah, only the dope boys had these foam posits. So
only the dope boys could afford them because the price was like
the price 200, 220.
Yeah, you paying. I think the lowest was like 180. Like even after I started making my own money, I ain't get my first pair of palm pops right away.
200.
200 is a lot.
Yeah.
My first pair of those, I would say, I think it was like an all black pair. They were the Foamposite ones, because you got the ones and the pros. So I got the all black pros from like a Foot Locker when they had re-released. And my first pair of pros, I had the silver and black pros.
Yeah, they fine.
Yeah.
They fine.
Yeah.
So I see that you dripped out in your brand. Yeah. Tell us about your brand.
All right. So the name of the brand is called RARE Couture. So the RARE, the RARE, is an acronym for running and ruling everything. So it's the brand with the meaning. The purpose behind the brand is that we were born to be kings and queens and have rule over everything that we're a part of, whether it be your job, whether it be your business, whether it be whatever you're passionate about. If you like you're like a social media guru or like photography, video, whatever it is, to kind of go in and have this boss mindset, this king, and like really represent what you're passionate about. So it's a brand with the meaning. So when you wear it, it's supposed to remind you, like, whatever room you walk in, like, I'm in control of this. Not like a control issue thing, but just kind of have this boss kind of mindset with everything in your life.
So I see on your social media platform that you have a concrete store, but also I know that, and I've seen it, been a part of it, that you do pop-ups. So tell me a little bit about the pop-ups.
The pop-ups are really good. So different people, different groups will do pop-up shops. I'm sure everybody knows what pop-up shops are, but you get a group of vendors together that normally sell different types of items. So you'll have like a clothing vendor. You'll have like a cup vendor, like everybody's into like the tumblers. You'll have like somebody that sells women's clothes. You'll have desserts, food, all different types of vendors. They're different areas. I'm probably 10 plus in with doing pop-ups now. I really like pop-ups because pop-ups introduce you to normally a new customer base. Every pop-up that I've gone to, I've met a new person that's purchased an item from me or multiple items, and sometimes those people will come back and buy more. So pop-ups are great because even though, like I had the store more so is repeat customers. Like, because the way the store is set up right now, it's not like storefront. It is a suite. Getting people in there is not as easy. So people that come down there know it's there. Where a pop-up is almost like, I'm putting a store somewhere for this day or for these hours, come shop with me. So it's been a great experience. Met new people. I've done them in different areas. I've been in DC. I've been here. Looking to travel some more and do them. But I really do like pop-ups for the customer exposure.
Now with the clothing brand, how did like sneakers kind of influence? I see that you got the white and black, and you got the
I mean, being big on sneakers, right? Like, you want your sneakers to look good, but you also want to fit to match the sneakers as well. So it's like I guess it's a give and take. Sometimes I'll drop something that I know will match certain sneakers. I don't gear it towards that, but I know for myself, like when I drop something, I try to make sure I have some sneakers to go with that. Because how can I have a new outfit that I'm releasing to the people and I'm not wearing it and can't represent it right? And what I noticed also is when you wear, prime example, when I did Towson, a pop-up at Towson, and I had on one of the signature sweatsuits. So it's like a red and white sweatsuit, and I had on the Silver Bullet 95s with like the red Nike check. So it's like this slight red coordination. I had the pants lifted up with like the white and red Nike socks. So what happened was somebody walked by and was like, I came over here because of the way you got the fit on. Right? The way you matched it up, I want to look like this. So it was like you representing, like, your sneakers will kind of really make your outfit. Because you could have on a basic outfit or you could have on like a whole sweatsuit. But the sneakers, if your sneakers ain't right, it can mess the whole thing up. Because you could throw on a white tee, jeans, and your sneakers clean, you pretty much got an outfit. I mean, you throw on a hat, but like your sneakers can make your outfit or break your outfit. So I try to make sure as I'm dropping, I have sneakers to wear with the outfit to complete the look, and that attracts people to say, "Oh, well, what's that? What's going on over here?" And I try to just, switch it up with colors, different logos, different items, even to make sure I'm kind of like reaching all different types of customers. Because from babies down to like my grandmother doesn't wear hoodies, but she got a RARE Couture hoodie and she's 88. So I try to make sure that the items can, everybody can partake in this business.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like the community, also the church. Everyone's decked out into RARE Couture. So also, I know that you're a husband, right? We have, I believe, 5 kids.
5 kids. 4 boys, 1 girl.
Tell me about like the balance of being an entrepreneur, a husband, and also still sharing your passion and desire for the love of sneakers.
It's all mixed. The good thing about our structure is that my wife has a business too. Okay. So she understands what it means to have to focus on business sometime. And there's a trade-off. She might go do a pop-up and I'll watch the kids. I might go do a pop-up and she'll watch the kids. Or like even with the store, like if there's Saturdays I'm going to be at the store, I'll take some of the kids with me to kind of like balance the load there. But we always make time for family. Like you're not going to catch me at the store like every single Saturday. You're going to see like, hey, sorry, we're closed today. And when we're closed, it's because I'm doing something family related. I found that balance because I know how important it is to spend time with my wife, number one, and also to spend time, with my kids. And how the shoes have kind of roped into it. Like, I mean, my wife was already into sneakers somewhat before we met, but obviously like, my appreciation for sneakers, like I always try to make sure she got, dope sneakers too. So, I bought Jordans. I purchased some Jordans for her that I wanted personally that I couldn't get for myself. Jordan 3, the 88s. It dropped like All-Star weekend. This is when the first time they started putting Nike signs back on the Jordan. So they called them the 88s. Wale had a song, I got 3 for the whole team. It's a song called 88. And it's around, he was in, I think, Flight Club and bought like, everybody in there, he bought them the 88s or something. This is like a video. You could probably go look it up. But I was actually at the movies with her. And I got an alert because I used to be really big on the restock. Finish Line had stocked kids, and I'm in there. She probably was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "Hold on, I gotta order these shoes." And they ended up like being for her, and I never even got to pay for myself. So
that's love right there.
Yeah, that's the balance. Now the kids, my oldest son, has like, I bought him a pair of Jordans. He did pretty good with it. I don't really buy them the super expensive shoes though, because they hard on shoes right now. They like shoes, but they actually really love gray New Balance. Like, because they always get them because it's like the perfect shoe for kids, but they look forward to like when they get a brand new pair because it's like, can I wear my new gray? I'm like, yeah, you can wear the new ones. They do get excited about their shoes, but they're not like, I gotta have Jordans, I gotta have this. Now they like, my oldest son knows what Jordans are, and I did buy him a pair, and he did good with them. I could see me buying him some more, but the younger ones, they so hard on them, and they don't care. They don't care that they got a pair of Jordans on, and like I said, they recognize the New Balance, but overall, I just make sure they have good looking shoes that are stylish. I'm not putting them in. No offense to anybody. My kids don't wear the character shoes with the Velcro straps. I'm not that parent. They do wear Nike, Adidas, New Balance. I stay away from the other shoes, and that's just my preference. No knock to what anybody else does.
What advice would you give to fathers who are passionate about sneakers and who desire to be entrepreneurs?
Mainly just to find a balance. You could still be passionate about sneakers, but you can't spend all your money on sneakers like as you were when you were single. So the transition for me is a step in between. The kids is like transition from a single man to a married man and being passionate about sneakers. Number one, financially, planning for a wedding, saving for a wedding, I had to slow down. I remember my cutoff for buying sneakers because we got married in 2012. So 2011, the last pair of sneakers I bought before I committed to like really saving was like the Concord 11s. And so I had to go on like kind of like a sneaker diet kind of, right? Because I spent a lot of money on shoes being single. It wasn't a big thing, but saving for a wedding, I had to kind of temper that off. So you just finding balance and, not knowing not to spend too much money. And then, once we got married, I stopped just buying a pair for me. I was buying my pair and her pair. So we both was matching Jordans, even if we didn't wear them together, but like buying her Jordans. And then once we found out he was having the first kid, I did the same thing with the wedding. I was like, all right, it was like February. I was like, all right, these are the last Jordans we're going to buy for a little while. We're going to focus on, saving up, for the baby expenses, so to speak. And so now with 5 kids, like I don't buy 10 pairs a year. I'm every, holidays. Like, hey, can I get I'm gonna grab a pair of these. So I just found a balance, being wise. And then on the business side is just kind of putting away or saving capital to invest into the business. And once you can start investing a smart amount to be able to flip and put back into the business, that one is a little bit easier. That's just more so balancing like the time more so than the money, because the business should be making you money that you don't have to take from like your personal funds.
So you're talking about business, right? I remember you telling me a little bit about the time you used to be a sneaker plug. So can you share briefly about the hustle?
Yeah. So I'd say for a while I was like a go-to person to get sneakers from. Obviously, with the passion for sneakers, and the hype that started building around sneakers, there was an opportunity to start, making money. And so what I would do was I would go to the malls early in the morning. This is before raffles where you could go to the store and actually just buy shoes. Did they come out? So you get up early, you stand in line, you might take somebody with you that might not care that much about the shoes, and you get multiple pairs. I would go to different locations, go to Mondawmin, go to Lexington Market, go to Mount Clair Junction, and just try to grab, whatever I could. And then the demand for the shoes was so great that I was able to find people that really wanted them but couldn't get them, and make a profit off of those. And so that went on. I had like an IG page dedicated to it, and the page would have like, sneaker release dates and different things. So people were like glued in, tied in. I mean, even to this day, some people will say, "Hey, you still get the shoes?" Because they'll be looking for a pair they want. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not really into it anymore. What happened was it just got too saturated. The resale market just became like crazy, and people that don't even know anything about shoes were getting involved in it. It just got a little too chaotic for me. And so it was fun while it lasted, but yeah, I had a good run.
So do you see it, any of your kids? I know you said that some of them don't really like or understand the Jordan or the phase, but do you see any of them kind of like design the same passion or?
Maybe as they get older. I mean, because I think you get more into style and fashion. I mean, my oldest is 9, right? He's about to turn 10. He's somewhat into it. He did ask me, could he get like another like pair of Jordans? So like, yeah, now it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna see what I can do and kind of figure out what we can do there. But I think as they get older, they'll get into it. But they are really into like colors too. Like they like the colorful shoes, which I'm good on for them because kids wear all different colors. And also like, with me and the clothes, I can make them shirts to match their shoes. And if you go on like the Instagram, you can see them in like these different flavors of like sweatsuits and everything. So kind of looping back in like the business part of it for them when they get shoes. If I can't find a shirt to match, I can get one made, for them. So that's a good thing too.
Do you have a shoe that you haven't purchased yet, but you still desire?
Man, the shoe that because I have like what I consider like a top 5 silhouette colorway for what I consider like my favorite shoes. And the shoe that I've never been able to purchase is the black and blue Penny 2. The Penny 2 is one of my favorite like silhouettes of all time. It's not like my favorite shoe of all time, but that's the one shoe as far as my favorites go that I've never been able to purchase. And they've been releasing Penny 2s in the last like year or so, but they haven't done the classic like black and blue pair. So it's been kind of like bumming me out. Like, see, I'm just not going to do the most the most classic pair. But that's the shoe. That's the shoe. I know it's probably like that's the shoe, but
no,
yeah.
Everybody got their own shoe. I think for me, a shoe that I'm still looking for is I love SBs. So
okay.
I desire to kind of have there's a shoe called the De La Soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I love De La Soul as growing up and listening to their music, but there's a De La Soul low.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I purchased it on eBay. Not sure if it's official or authentic, but if I had a chance, I would love to get that shoe because I got the high, got the low top version that came out a couple of years ago, but that it's white, yellow with the faces on it, but it's a low top.
Yeah,
so kind of like a rare little SB.
Yeah.
So
I never really got deep into the SB. I like them, but I just never got into it. I know when I was in college, it was a huge SB wave. And they was popping out with all kind of colorways and collabs or themes. But I've never owned a pair of SBs.
I got one more question for you. What shoe do you think is like the most iconic shoe that changed the sneaker culture forever?
I mean, the Jordan 1.
Jordan 1?
The Jordan 1, because even, I don't know if you ever watched the documentary on the movie. In that movie, there's so much focus on it. When that shoe dropped, it changed sneakers forever. They didn't wear black sneakers, right? Like you couldn't. It was against the rules in the NBA for you to wear like a black shoe. You had to wear like white base shoes. So that shoe changed, I think, sneaker culture forever. That introduced a new wave of signature shoes, or just Jordans in general. The Jordan like line, that was the introduction to it. And I like the one. It's not my favorite Jordan. I think the best Jordan, to me, favorite, best, most iconic is the Jordan 3. I think the Jordan 3 is universal. I think everybody likes the Jordan 3. I've never met a person that said, I don't like the 3s. But I know people that don't wear 1s. Like the 3 to me, and the 3 is my favorite. The 3, I think I have 2 pair in the house from like 2011, 2018. And when they drop this year, I'm going to cop them again. The black and cement ones.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure having you come on our show today. How can the fan find more information about you?
Through Instagram mainly. So my Instagram, you can go to shop RARE Couture on Instagram. I have a website, obviously, if you're interested in purchasing, products. It's shoprarecouture.com. So it's pretty much easy to remember. The IG is Shop RARE Couture. The website is shoprarecouture.com. I'm on Facebook for people that use it. If you just type in Rare Space Couture, it'll show up too. But mainly on Instagram is where you're gonna find like posts and like different things and get a feel for like what the brand is about. The store, 2107 Charles Street. Right now, I'm operating like appointment only. So just shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to come through. It's like a personal shopping experience. So yeah.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure having you.
Pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine.
To purchase some more clothes from you as well.
Oh, sure.
And it's been a pleasure, y'all. So you already know what time it is, man. Mr. Fresh to the Soul, and this is another episode of Kicks Convo. And you already know, stay fresh, stay humble, and make sure your soul stay clean. We out.